Shut it down!
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
how y'all feeling tonight? You cold, I know. Cold out here. All right. Silence is greater than shackles and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Silence is greater than shackles and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Silence is greater than shackles and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Silence is greater than shackles and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. My mother said, don't be afraid to ask for help. But what if help is an illegal chokehold around an asthmatic throat, a smoke bomb before dawn, and a bullet hole left in a 7-year-old's dream, a severed spine, rubber bullets ricocheting off picket signs, tasers, tight-fisted billy clubs, and mace lethal enough to blind? We treat officers like they're gods, and then we give them guns to unleash their wrath and fury without a judge or jury to provide the scrutiny and check or balance the death and injury they sentence without reserve. Accountability is a refrain used to attack black communities and their leaders, a frame for not good enough, not powerful enough, a pointed finger from the FOP's once itchy trigger finger. They will kill your kin and then tell you it was your fault for letting them sag their pants too low, wear their hoods too high, drive a fancy car in an at-risk neighborhood, look like a drug dealer, or have a black body that one could assume was up to no good. But accountability is not a police officer's duty, but rather a matter shielded by the badge and blue uniform. Transparency is a myth. It's the abominable snowman of City Hall, and we ain't seen that Yeti in years. That's right. Silence is greater than shackles, and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Silence is greater than shackles, and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. We say Black Lives Matter, but laws do too. That's right. Because in civil society, there's no discipline without legislation and policies to answer to. Yet the Law Enforcement Officers Bill of Rights in this state protects officers when they fail to protect us. That's right. Creating barriers to gaining access to information, prohibiting interrogation. Even if somebody's blood has painted the pavement, the officers caught red-handed cannot be demanded to make a statement for 10 whole days. God created the heavens and the earth in less, and we cannot get justice unless we start to demand more, like a civilian on the trial review board. Because what's the point if only another officer is able to grab the gavel? They all soldiers in the same battle, so they rather tote guns than tattletale. An officer will never send a fellow cop to jail, so guilty officers go free. That's right. Silence is greater than shackles, and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Silence is greater than shackles, and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. Justice never really seems to prevail, and the community is unengaged like a bride pre-veil unless its voice is raised and hands up in the streets. But we should not have to disrupt the peace with loot videos and mainstream media on repeat for us to get a fair and thorough investigation for instances of police brutality. I swear, if I killed a cop, my body would drop before my mother's tears. And yet, an officer has not been arrested for an unlawful death in years. Power concedes nothing but a bigger bully with a better bang. So we will not see change until cops fear their freedom will not remain. If another black body is unlawfully slain, silence is greater than shackles, and knowledge is tougher than knuckles. And we want justice or else.
Yeah.